Good morning, YouTubers. How are you today? I am waiting on my fishing partners to show up, which I think they need a little bit of time management skills because we're supposed to be started at sunrise. And as you can see, it's well after sunrise. Despite the clouds, it's pretty bright. But I'm going to go over what we're doing today. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Consider subscribing. If you've come back, I really appreciate you. Think about hitting that like button for me. Today we're going to be fishing for walleyes, and it's summertime. We're in the end of July right now, and the best way to fish for walleyes right now in these reservoirs in and around Maryland is to troll worm harnesses, and we use boards. This is one of the boards. This is an offshore tackle board with quick release clips, and check this little doodad out. This is what's called a tattle flag. So your line will be coming off the back here, and when a fish bites it, boop, it lets you know. So this is a board. These are directional. As you can see, this one says left. So we're going to put this out on the left side of the boat, and because it's angled, it's going to plane away from the boat, which means we can cover a wide swath of water, leaving the back of the boat wide open to bring fish in. But yeah, these are slick. So hopefully we'll get to show you bringing a fish in with one of them today. So we'll put a couple on the right side, a couple on the left side, and we will see how it goes. Other than that, let me show you the rig that we're going to be using. We use line counter reels. Make sure your reel is calibrated. There's a bunch of videos on how to calibrate your line counters. Basically make sure that the counter lines up correctly with the line that's going out. So if it says you put 10 foot of line out, you actually put 10 foot of line out. This is one of the rigs. Let me show you that. So what we have here is, let's see if I can get close enough for you to see this. I have a slow death hook paired with a single Snell number 6 walleye hook. Sometimes I'll run a number 8 treble up here, one or the other. And then on top of that, we're gonna have a series of beads. Looks like I have about 6 here. And then I have on this one, a little Copper John Colorado blade, hammered Colorado blade. So the worm is going to come off the back of that. Sometimes you use a whole crawler, sometimes you use a half a crawler. Really can't tell what they want until you start getting bit. These come in various colors. I build all my own. We'll probably have 5 or 6 different colors out today, trying to figure out what they want at various depths. That goes up, let's see here, we got about 5 foot of leader to a swivel, to an inline weight, which is also swiveled, to another swivel. When you're trolling, swivels are the name of the game. I believe this is a 1/2 ounce weight. And we'll put this out anywhere from, depending on where we start marking bait, we'll put it out anywhere from, 20 feet back to 50 feet back. It really depends on where we're marking the bait. So in this reservoir we're fishing, the main forage is gizzard shad. So we're gonna try and mark the shad, and the walleyes will be directly under those shad. This reservoir is pretty deep. Average depth around is like 40-50 feet. So we're gonna find the balls of bait and then hopefully mark the fish somewhere around or beneath that bait. They just kind of follow them around, and it's kind of like having your lunchbox on you when you're hungry. You just come up and eat. But yeah, we're gonna do that. And we'll see where we're marking them. If we're marking them at 15 feet, we're going to try and get these baits, 3 to 5 feet above that. So we want our baits running anywhere from 12 to 10 foot. Fish always feed up. All your predators feed up. So, all right, I'm going to get the boat ready, and then hopefully my fishing buddies show up and we can get out and actually do some fishing. Stay tuned. I'm going to have some more tips for you on how we deploy the walleye boards, how we get the crawlers on here, little tricks for that. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to show you some walleyes getting caught. All right, another trick, get yourself a whiteboard and this is how you can keep track of everything. So port and starboard sides, we're going to have probably 3 boards on each side, maybe 4. You'll be able to say what kind of a lure you got on, how far back from the board you're running, and the weight that you're running. And this way you can put a pattern together. If you start catching all your fish on, say, 35 feet with a 3/4 ounce and it's a green blade, then you'll end up switching them all over, or at least the majority of them all over. So anyway, get yourself one of these. It'll save you a lot of headache in the long run. So what you want to do is you want to put some water in a coffee can, about 1 inch or 2. What we're going to do is we're going to put our worms in there, and they're going to stretch out nice and pretty, and they're going to be clean. There's nothing nastier than old black worm dirt. When you pull them out of here, because they've been in the refrigerator, they're little. He's like 2 inches, 3 inches, or the water here, and that rascal's going to stretch out to about 10, 12 inches. 5 in here to start with. That nastiness. All right, so we're going to start putting some boards out. My fishing partners finally woke up, showed up. Whose fault was that, yours or his? Show you what we do here with the first one. So now these worms been in the water, they're real long and they're real clean. Is I will work it right down to the nose of the crawler. This is on that slow death hook, and I'm going to put it all the way up to the bend and then pull it over. And this little hook is just for keeping it on there. And that's on there. Now that's too long. I'm going to pinch it off right there. And we'll save that little piece just in case. But that's what that's going to look like. And that's what that's going to look like. So then, we're just going to set this out. Now this one is a 1/2 ounce. So I'm going to set my line counter to 0. And I'm going to let that back. Show you a little trick. So we're going to let this out to 40. See the line counter going out. There's 40. So what I like to do is make sure your flag is up and functioning properly. Sometimes a little wire will get bent and you got to straighten it out here. But what we're going to do is we're going to clip. This back clip has a little tit in it, and you want to make sure you get your line behind that tit.
What's the weight on that one? You say 3/4? All right, I'm gonna get 3/4.
What we want to do is we want to leave a little bit of play on this line so this can actually work. And then I like to just twist it a couple times. This one's a quick release, so if a fish strikes it, it'll release. And then we're going to let that out. This one's going to go out the farthest. Now what we want is we want this board to be on the outside of that board, because this board's running deeper. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it go back past this board. And then and that board will pull right over, and you got to watch it, because if it's too close, we're going to let some more line out, because we do not want it to get tangled up with the other line. There we go. So it's going to plane right on over, and that should be right on the outside of that other one. We'll get a couple more lines out here and we'll be ready. There it is, pulling right up on it. We've marked some fish so far, but I haven't marked any bait. So once we find the bait, I'll feel more confident about catching some fish today. You gotta, let me see this willow here. What did you put them out at?
Fish on. Donnie, reel us in. Reel us in.
Yep, we got a fish. We got a fish.
Oh, a snag.
Ain't a snag out here in 50 foot of water.
Get it, dude. Reel it straight in. Is it a fish?
It's a big fish.
Here it is. Here, hold on. All right, good, reel. Just real steady. Such a small handle.
Woo, man, he's pulling. He's pulling. What do we have here? What do we have here? Keep going.
Big cat.
Big catfish. Woo! Big channel. Yeah. It's a nice one. It's like an 9 pound channel, buddy. Good job. That was a fight and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some things are a brute. Yeah. Nice one. Look at that, he ate that spider blade. Everything's a predator out here, guys. Catfish, bass, walleye. People can't believe you catch catfish suspended over 50 foot of water. 15 feet up.
What a mess.
But there he is. You guys don't want a catfish to eat, do you? No. Let's get a picture of Donnie holding that one up. Can you hold a catfish?
Yeah.
There he is. All right, let's do a release over here. Say goodbye, Mr. Kitty Cat. Nice. How far back were you?
30.
30 with 3/4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down there twisting around.
He was making you work for it. All right, this is probably one of my favorite walleye colors. It's an antifreeze on the back and a living image on the front with a half a crawler on it. I like pinching a crawler. I think it puts scent out there. When they come up to sniff it, they can smell it. We got 4 lines fishing, so get that other one untangled. We'll have the rest of them deployed. Oh, it's a paraglider. Look at him go, boy. It's a good day for that. No wind. I think them guys are nuts. There we go. Let's watch that. What do you got on there? Copper?
Maybe a copper back.
Is that spider?
Yeah.
The one you caught the catfish on?
No.
Okay.
Put on my face plate. Just ready. Good. Already? Yeah.
Guys, so that's the bait that we're looking for. Big balls like that. You can see the fish are right in them. So when you see that, that's typically where your walleyes are going to be. They'll grab that worm and it's just enough to pull the board back, but not enough to trip the flag.
Yeah.
And if they're not real aggressive, they'll just kind of swim along with it. Or it could mean we just picked up some grass and we got to clean it off. One way or another, if the board's going back, there's something on it. See this one?
Yeah.
That might have been a fish. Or it could be hitting bottom. Probably hit bottom.
You want 20?
Come back here.
Keep reeling.
Keep reeling. Don't give any slack.
Come over top me. Over this side. We got another one. We got another one. What is it?
Big walleye.
Big walleye. Woo! Nice. Nice walleye. See where that pulled back there? And we thought it was bottom. That was actually a nice walleye on there.
Yeah, it was pretty fishy.
Yep. See, that sometimes they don't trip the board. Good job, buddy. Nice.
A lot easier to reel this
Yeah.
than the other.
Nice. Well, that was back where all them marks were. But yeah, good one. Good one.
Nose to the front, yeah.
All right, let's get a measurement on them. They got to be 15, and we are 20 and 1/2 inches.
20 and a half.
All right, we're gonna keep 1 or 2. I'm gonna do a little special walleye recipe, a little cook at the end. But man, that's a good one, buddy. That's a good 3 pound, 3.5 pound fish. Let's put him in the live well and we'll bleed him later. There you go, right in the box. That's what you're looking for right there, guys. Tons of bait and tons of fish in them. That should be big schools of shad with walleyes hanging around.
They sure are riding pretty.
Yeah, when there's no wind.
There you go. Fish on right here. Inside
Oh,
board.
there it is, right here, Donnie.
There you go. Hold on. Let me get this. Another catfish.
I don't know.
Still on? Reel. Straight reel.
Let me get back here.
Straight reel.
We got another one on here. Keep your rod tip high, Donnie, when that board comes up. Yeah, there you go. Steady reel, slow. Tighten his drag up. There you go. There you go. Staying out. This one's fighting like a largemouth. Reel down your dad's hand. There you go. Good job. Got a fish on here.
Don't slip it up.
Yeah, just steady reel. Steady reel. Keep the rod tip up. Come on back here. Come on back. Good job. You think so?
Yeah.
You saw it?
No.
I think it's a walleye.
Was yanking too hard.
Nah. Little rod. Nice walleye. Just steady reel. You're doing great. Keep the rod tip up over your dad's head. There you go. Woo! Big kitty cat. Nice. Man, we're in the cats today. That's a better eater size there.
Mm-hmm. Prettier. A lot nicer looking fish.
Yeah, nice gold one. Nice one. Yeah. We think, Donnie, was that a good fight? Not as good as the other ones.
No.
That's good fish, man.
The reel sucks more than the other one.
Yeah, that's my little flounder rod. We're gonna get this fish unhooked and get him back in the water.
Eat this one?
I'm not eating them. If you guys want them, you can have them. They're really tasty out of this clean water out of these reservoirs. All right, folks, so we had a pretty good morning there. We caught one of the target species, which was the walleye, which I believe he was 21.5 inches. Donnie reeled that one in. He's been bled and brained. So I'm gonna fillet him now and show you guys how to fillet a walleye. They're a little different than other fish because you can get a lot more yield off of them if you follow these techniques. So what I always do when I start out with a walleye, that was a pretty good trip. We were happy to get an eater walleye. This is about on the bigger side for walleyes that I like to eat. I'd rather have a 15-inch walleye than a 25-inch walleye. I think they just taste better. You just follow that backbone down like any other fish. And then when you get back here to the anal fin, I just kind of pop over and through and take that right on down and off. And you can kind of work down that backbone. And then I come in on the other side. Before I take the fillet off, I do the other side just because that side holds the fish up and keeps the backbone straight. Once you take the meat off the other side, your backbone turns into an S. It's a little harder. A little harder to follow the backbone down. Now what I always do on my walleye is I come in here up on the head and I'm gonna go right through these hard armadillo scales and I go straight down through the ribs and I'm gonna cut this whole section off, ribs and all, right through the belly. and I'll show you why. And do likewise on the other side. Ooh, he was loaded up with fat in his belly. What's he got in his stomach? He's got an empty stomach. So he was not feeding at all. But we'll get all this fat. On a walleye this size, we're going to take the cheeks off. So these cheeks have a lot of meat on them. So you just put the point in, you just kind of follow it around, dish it out. Just like that. Come right up to the eyeball. And just trim that off there. And I just pull it right off the skin like that. And you end up with a nice cheek. There's not much scales on a walleye cheek. You can leave the skin on for sure. But I just kind of pull it right off of the skin. Another nice cheek. So the last thing we're going to remove from the walleye is the wings. So there's a lot of meat. You can see all the meat right here. And most people just take it up here, but I actually leave a little bit here. I come up right by the pectoral fin here, all the way up on both sides. There's a lot of meat. I think this is probably my favorite part of a walleye is the wings. I really like them. Now if you scale your walleye, you don't have to take the skin off. So there you have the walleye wings with a little bit of extra belly that I like to leave on. You can see that. That fries up great. So what I do now, and here's a little trick. Be nice to your trash guys. If you put your fish in the trash and it's not trash day today, take your carcass and put it in the freezer and then put it out the morning that it goes out. That way your fish isn't sitting in the trash can growing all kind of nonsense. Poor trash guys got to pick it up. All right, so we got bones that run down here. These are the rib bones. On a walleye, the rib bones are really shallow. Most fish, the rib bones go all the way down to the belly. But on a walleye, they don't. So let me show you what we do with a walleye. We're going to come in right here on the back side of these ribs. And you don't go in but maybe 3/4 of an inch. And you're going to turn your fillet knife 90 degrees. And you're going to come up. You go, it's kind of like dishing them out. And that's the ribs. They're real little. So all this meat you would normally take off because you think there's rib bones. There's no bones in there. Now we do have bones. I like to trim off a little bit of this belly fat just because they say that's where the bad stuff likes to hide. So I'll take the little bit of fat off. Some people like that. There's bones right here. These are the Y bones that most fish have. They're what acts as their central nervous system where they can feel things on their lateral line. We're going to zipper this fish. So we're going to come in on either side of those roll bones all the way out. And then we're going to fillet this off the skin. This one's a little big. I gotta take him in 2 pieces here. We'll get rid of the skin. I wish we could make boots or something out of that. It seems like such a waste to throw it away. I'd wear a pair of walleye boots. Anyway, here's your fillet now. And he's been zippered. This little row of Y bones is out of there. All gone. 2 nice boneless fillets right there. That's how much meat you get off a walleye. You get all this nice meat. Most people throw that away. So what I normally do is I just continue to split that right down. Just follow that down. And we'll have 2 there. We'll do the same thing on this side. Remember, just come in on the back side of them rib bones about 3/4 of an inch and then pop them out. You want to dish them out. Just dish them out. And then find that little row of bones on the upper side and the lower side. And then we're going to take it right off the skin. Hold it down with your fingernails. Left a little bit of meat on there, but that's all right. You got to make do with what you got sometimes. Pull that zippered piece of Y bones out and get rid of that. And you're left with the boneless fillet. Cut him in half. And there's what you got off of that walleye. Look at all that meat. We got cheeks. We got wings. That right there is a good portion of meat for that size of a fish. So that's good. That'll be a nice fish fry. Now what I like to do, I know I'm going to fry this walleye because I've been wanting fried walleye for a while. I like to take these strips. I like to cut them on a bias. That way you got some really nice edges to get crispy. So I'll just come in. Man, the gnats are out big time. And I'll just cut them. And when you cut it on a bias, you end up with some nice little edges. And the edges, the corners, are what's going to crisp up when you're frying. And that's what everybody likes. They like nice crispies. So we'll do that with the other 3 pieces here. And then I'm going to get these on ice. And we ended up keeping a catfish. One of the catfish, we caught, got the hook pretty deep. I haven't eaten a catfish in a long time, but if I'm going to eat one, it's going to be out of one of the reservoirs. I think they're better for you than out of the bay for sure. So I'm going to show you how we fillet and chunk up that catfish for the fry too. But let me take these in and get these on ice, and then I'll come back and do the catfish. And again, take your fish and put them in here for the freezer so the trash man doesn't get full of flies and maggots and everything else. As you can see, this fish wasn't bled, so it kind of made a little bit of a mess here. But I fillet it the same way. I make sure I didn't get any of the ribs. This way I don't take the ribs off. Ribs on a catfish are real big and deep. So we are going to come in near the tail and take it off the skin, just like we did the walleye. And we're going to put that in the bag too. And if you got any skin that doesn't come off, just make sure your fillet knife's sharp. Catfish is a really firm meat. You can pretty much get the skin off on either side. Some people like to trim every little bit of white off. It's funny on catfish, one you'll catch and it'll have real yellow fillets like this one, and then you'll catch a catfish out of the same water within minutes of that one, and it's got real pink or real white fillets. So yeah, let me get this one done. And then all right. So we take our catfish fillets, and I always cut them on a bias. I think they just crisp up a lot better. We're just gonna make some catfish nuggets here. I'm not sure what breading I'll use. Maybe I'll go traditional southern with some cornmeal breading. Hard to say. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I'll do a buttermilk batter. We'll see. But we'll get those in with the walleyes. All right, I'm gonna get all this cleaned up now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a really quick, easy way to make some cocktail sauce. It's great for dipping shrimp, fish, anything you want to dip in it, it's good for. Just get you some good old ketchup, bottled ketchup. What I like to do is squirt about a 1/4 cup, which is right there. Let's go a little more. We got a lot to dip today. So we got a 1/4 cup of that. Get yourself some shredded horseradish. And I like to get, this is typical cereal spoon here, and I like a big heaping scoop of that. So you're probably looking at, you know, a little more than a 1/4 cup right there. And we're gonna put that in. Shot of good old fake lemon juice, even though it says real. I like to give it 3 good glugs. And then get yourself some hot sauce. This is Senor Tapatio, Cholula, whatever you like. Sriracha. And then I give that about 3 good drips. And that's going to make the best cocktail sauce for any of your fish fries, your clam bakes, your oysters, any of that. Whoop. That's mine. That's some good stuff. So I like to make this up about an hour before I plan on eating it. And I'll let all those flavors homogenize in there. Homogenize, one or the other. And I'm going to put that right back into the refrigerator and keep it cold until it's time to eat. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick, fun, and easy way to make some good old hush puppies. So get yourself a big old bowl. I like to mix my dry first. So what I have here is 3/4 cup of corn meal. I use the white, not the yellow. Doesn't matter, you want to use yellow, go ahead and use yellow. I have a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So that goes in there. I like to give all that a good stir, mix it up. Where it all gets mixed before you put your wet in. All right, so we got that mixed up. In here I have a 1/2 cup of buttermilk and a half teaspoon of honey. Honey from a good buddy Alex, who is also a viewer. And I crack an egg into it. All right, so that's all mixed up. Now you can add whatever you want to this. You can put a little bit of cayenne. You can put a little bit. I see my neighbor's mowing the lawn again. Every time I try and do an outside cook, I get lawn mowing noise. Anyway, he'll smell the fish fry here in a minute and be over. So that's all mixed up. You can put jalapenos in this, cayenne, whatever seasoning you want to put in. I just like salt. All right, and the last ingredients are some finely minced sweet onions. Now, what I normally do is I hold off on mixing the onions until last. Buttermilk, egg, and honey right into the dry. Make sure you get all that honey out of there. If you can get yourself some local honey, do it. All right, and then I am going to mix this up nice and slow until it all gets mixed. You kind of want the consistency of a thickish pancake batter. I don't know about you, but you can't have a fish fry without some hush puppies. Sometimes I just like eating hush puppies before I get to the fish, and then by the time the fish is done, I'm full. All right, so now we got that mixed up, the consistency of pancake batter, maybe a smidge thicker. You're gonna add in your onions. Now it's a 1/4 cup of minced onions, which is one little tiny onion or maybe a half of a big old onion. And I give all that a real good stir. Now here's the point, if you wanted to add something spicy, you could add your spice in here. A little cayenne, a little diced jalapeno, whatever you want to do. Mix it up, make it fun. It's just hush puppies. Now, what's coming up is going to be really cool. I'm going to show you how to cook these things in a way you've probably never seen. And it may turn out to be your favorite way to do it. All right, get yourself a Ziploc bag and a piping tip. Pretty big one. This one's about, I'd say, a 1/2 inch tip. Put that down inside of a soup container, sorta-ish, and you're gonna get your batter in there. I don't know about you, but I really like hush puppies. Alright, so all that goodness is in there. Then you're just gonna pick it right on up here. I like to seal it almost to the end. That way we can get some of the air out. And then we're going to wait until our oiler is ready, and it is, and we're about to cook some hush puppies and drop some fish. So for the catfish, I'm going to do a traditional southern way. I have 1 cup of cornmeal, fine cornmeal, and I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne, and 1 little smidge of cherry pepper. And that's going to be my Southern cat recipe. So we're going to take the cat that I trimmed up, trimmed all the fat off of it. We'll put her right on in the bowl there. And I just like to give her a toss. And I like my fillets to sit in the batter for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. So once you get everything coated, I don't really do a batter. I don't do a wet and a dry. I don't like thick coating on my fish. Beer batter is one thing if it's winter time and I feel like eating fatty and getting big old carb belly on me. But anyway, that's going to sit in there, and I will toss it one more time before it goes in the grease. I've got my lard heating up. We're going to get my lard up to about 385. That's the perfect temp. For the walleye, I'm using something different. I am using triple ground flour. It's like cake flour. In the flour, I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of dill, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of tarragon. And that's all mixed up in here. And that's what I'm going to do the walleye in. And it's a 1 cup of the flour. So this is that walleye with the wings and the cheeks. No cornmeal in this. This is going to be a finer bread. There's them wings. That coats a lot nicer and a lot quicker because it's triple ground. So we're going to let both of those sit a spell. And I am actually about to put some hush puppies in, get them started so I can snack while I'm cooking. I don't know about you, but if you're cooking, do you like to snack like me? I think everybody does. Okay, so we got our grease up and it's looking good. And now we're going to take our piping hush puppy mix, and you're just going to drop them in like this. You don't want to load too many up. I don't know if you can see how that's coming out. Kind of comes out about 1 inch and then drops off. We're going to do about that many right now, let them cook. And then while they're cooking, they won't take long. They're only going to take about a minute at most. As you can see, they floated right to the top. And they're just about done. They look like Cheetos or cheesy poofs. My niece calls them ghetto shrimp. And they're done that quick. So I take them out here, and I got my handy dandy drainer over here to keep everything up off the paper towel. Always 1 or 2 wanting to stick. Get them back in, and as soon as the heat gets good enough, we'll put the second batch in. Yourself a cookie tray, a cooling rack, and it keeps all the fish and everything up off of that so that it doesn't sit there in its own grease. It can drip through, but it was so good. Alright, I'm gonna keep myself from eating all these. But there's no funner way to make hush puppies. Oh, we're green again. It's time to go. And you just want to move it as you go. Just move it as you go here. Use your little squeegee action to get it all out. And you can use a bigger piping tip or a smaller, whatever you like. Flute it, doesn't matter. All right, and that's about it right there. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let that cook for a second. I'm gonna go put this away. All right, there's the last batch of the hush puppies. A couple clingers on. All right, I'm gonna let those cool and get my area ready for the fish. Okay, we got the grease back up to temp. We're gonna put our catfish in. So I don't want to overload this little fryer. I didn't want to get my big one out because we're only doing a fish and a half with this. So we're going to put about 10 or 12 pieces in. I went and re-tossed this after it's set for a minute. I think that's enough. Always give them one little bounce. Now on the high temp that it's going, they're not going to take long. About 5 minutes they'll be done. All right, they're all floating good. And wow, they look great. That was 4 minutes exactly. We're going to put those out here, let those cool. Let us come back up to temp. As you can see, if you put these out, don't let them touch. Nothing's touching. They'll stay nice and crispy and not greasy and soggy. But yeah, they look perfect. So we got one more batch of catfish and then a couple batches of walleye. All right, our lard's back up to temp. So we're going to put the last batch of catfish. I don't want somebody tuning in late to think I'm cooking a kitty cat. Let's get that. Nice little tail section. Everybody likes some tail. If you're cooking with grease, lard, oil, make sure you let your temperature get back up before you drop a second batch in. If you do not, you will have some of the nastiest, greasiest tasting food. Whether you're making wings, fish, whatever. Alright, let's give that about 4 minutes. And then it'll be time to get some walleye going. Oh yeah. Gotta love the sizzle. So I think earlier I forgot to mention in my dry mix was also a quarter teaspoon of baking powder and a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Make sure you put those in or you won't like your hush puppies. That was the hush puppy mix. All right, we're gonna let our temperature come back up and then it is walleye time. But I'm gonna eat me a piece of this catfish while we're waiting. Oh, temperature's already back up, that's great. Let me grab the walleye and get the first batch of that in. All right, so that's been sitting a while. So like I said, it will absorb a lot of the breading. So I like to give it one more toss just to recoat it. And we're gonna do the wings. And we're gonna get a few more in here. Can't wait to eat the walleye wings. Try and match up your pieces. If you got a bunch of big, fat, thick back pieces, put them all in together. If you got a bunch of the tail section, put them in together. All right, let's give that about 4 minutes as well. And I'm gonna move this around to make a little bit of room. There's a nice piece of that cat tail. Wow, that is delicious. That is really good. Another piece. Wow, I made a good mess here, like I typically do. All right, give that about 4 minutes. Take the walleye out. All right, so it's time. Let's see how they look. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. All right, drain off a little bit of the lard. And we're gonna dump these over here. Well, you can really tell the difference between the cornmeal and the cake flour. Get that back in there and let our temp come up. Yeah, look at the walleye wings. Woo! They look superb. That's a cheek and that's a cheek. You can tell the cheeks, I'll be eating them first. All right, we're back up to temp. If you save your grease, what you want to do is cook a batch of potatoes in this grease since you have made fish, and that'll clean the flavor of the fishiness out, and you'll be good to make anything from that point on. Wings, French fries, whatever. Cook yourself up a batch of potatoes in it, and it'll get rid of all that fishiness, and then you can store it right in the fridge if you want. I think we'll make a few French fries myself just to clean this oil out. But yeah, if you use lard, peanut oil, any of that stuff's good. Stay away from seed oils, people. That stuff is not meant to go in our bodies. All right, this should be done. Woo, that looks good. Drain off a little bit of that. All right, that's it for the fish. All right, there is a plate of fried goodness. I have walleye wings, walleye fillet, a few hush puppies because I've been eating them like crazy. Another walleye fillet, a couple pieces of catfish, some good old Walmart brand crinkle flies, and some collard greens that I've been cooking since this morning. Homemade cocktail sauce. So we are blessed to have this bounty. Thank you, Lord. I'm gonna try a piece of walleye in my cocktail sauce. Some people like tartar sauce. I'm more of a cocktail person. That's good. That dill and that tarragon in there, that's really good. Let me try a piece of the catfish. I had a little piece earlier. I don't think I'm gonna be putting any more of them freshwater catfish back. Man, I might be liking the catfish better than the walleye. I know you people up north probably think that's sacrilege, but I'm telling you, that's good channel cat. I think I might be doing a video here in a bit. I'm gonna try and catch different species of catfish. I even like cocktail sauce on my French fries. Call me weird. But I'm thinking of maybe trying to catch some channel, some blue, some white, bullhead, and we got flathead. I'm gonna see how many species I can catch and then cook them all up. Maybe invite some people over and see what's best. Cooking and smelling all day. I love collard green. That's good. I smoked these for about 2 hours on my pit boss before I started slow cooking them. That's really good. Walleye wings. So some guys grab them like such and just start eating on them. I leave a little bit of the belly meat on, so I typically pull that off first. Big, nice chunk of belly. That is good. That is really good. It's hard to believe most people throw this away. So much meat on it, but you can break off those bigger chunks like that, and it's going to leave you with your typical wing here. Yeah, you grab your two fins like this, and you pull the meat off, and that is tasty. I think the wings are the best part of walleye. So I'm going to finish up this meal. Again, I think I like the catfish better than the walleye, which I would have never thought I would say that in all my days. Hope you like the recipes. Thanks for coming along with me today. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Take a kid fishing, take a kid hunting, do something. We let Donnie reel all the fish in. It was great. He had a great time. He was talking about it on the ride home. It's great hearing kids talk about the fight afterwards, how hard this one fought and how hard that one fought. Get out there and do it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come. I'll be trying to drop one every week. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks.